Hello, it's Temple Cartmill from templesworld.org and The Conscious Woman, and I'm your Conscious Woman mouthpiece. So I wanted to talk to you today. I know that the video is usually going slower than my voice, but I'm going to keep talking at normal speed anyway. So if it looks funny, just close your eyes and listen. But what I want to talk about today is asking the hard questions when you want to start dating or if you need to grow your relationship. And one of the hardest questions to ask is, what did you learn from your last relationship that is going to make you a better person today? And if you're dating and you want to ask somebody, how did you handle your last breakup? And why did you break up? That's usually what we ask. Well, what happened to your last relationship? Oh, well, we just didn't see things eye to eye. She ended up cheating on me, or he ended up cheating on me, and so I got out. Okay. Well, that's the end of the story. That's not the beginning and the middle. So as conscious women, we need to start asking the beginning and the middle questions before we get right to the end. Because it's the process that is the most important in relationship. If you're dealing with people that are willing to go through processing, or do they just skip to the end where it says, oh, no, cheated, done. I actually know a woman who was able to reconcile her marriage after her husband cheated on her. Not just cheated on her, but cheated on her with her best friend. So, yikes. Impossible, right? Impossible? No. No, because conscious people can recover from anything. Anything. Drug addictions, abuse, abandonment, you name it. If you are conscious about your healing, you can heal. But one person being conscious about healing is like dragging a dead body through the mud. You have to have both parties willing and able to be conscious. And this woman whose husband cheated on her with her best friend, she's a conscious woman because she took the time to think about how her marriage got to that point. And what she told me was that she realized that the affair that her husband had was actually the best thing that ever happened to their relationship. Because she had been she'd been living comfortably uncomfortable. There was a communication breakdown between them. They were not connected. But when you're married for many years and you have children, if you don't feel connected to your spouse, why push it, right? What if it pushes them away? What if I end up losing my kids? What if my husband leaves and I have to do this on my own, right? Those are very serious questions. So what happens when we're not connected and we're not paying attention to it is sometimes we can just slip into the comfortably uncomfortable spot and just try not to jeopardize what we've got. But what I saw her do and what she said she did was that she looked at her part and that her husband having an affair was the last result of trying to get her attention. And cheating usually is the last result. There is a beginning and a middle that led to the cheating. So at what point did your communication start to break down? And that at one point did you ignore it? And then at what point did you decide that nothing was worth looking at? And you just stayed in your own cloud, in your own fog, right? Well, our spirit yearns for connection. It yearns for it so much that we will move mountains to get it. And our spirits will throw a fit when we don't feel connected. So of course we have our spiritual connection to God, but the physical world is a reflection of our spiritual connection. So if you don't have a physical connection with people and relationships that reflect your spiritual connection, you are going to feel empty. Because we're in a body. We're not in the heavens yet. We're right here. We have to deal with human problems, with love, with heartache, with the good and the bad of it all. And what keeps us going is connection. Connection. And I know this is an extreme example of somebody cheating with the girlfriend, and most people would not recover from that. Most people would not recover from that. And many people have divorced over much less. But this woman not only realized that she had a communication breakdown between her husband, she had a communication breakdown between her best friend. That she was not seeing her part in that either. And this is why I do the Conscious Woman, because to me that is a shame. It's a shame that her best friend was hurting so deeply that the only way she felt she could get enough love was to take another woman's man. She wanted what her girlfriend had. She wanted that relationship, that initial relationship that they had that began to go numb. She wanted it to come back to life in her instead of encouraging her girlfriend to awaken her marriage again, to step back into it, to dig in and light a fire under it. Instead, she took what her best friend had. And that's not a conscious woman. And I'm telling you, sisters, if we turn on each other, there's nowhere else to go. Okay? We're not going to make it on this planet if the women turn on each other. Let me say this. All hell breaks loose when we don't do right by our sisters. Right? You ever seen two women fight? It's like insanity, right? Crazy cat fight, screeching, yelling, nails. It's crazy. And it is crazy. Women shouldn't fight over men. Women shouldn't fight over business positions. Women have to complement and hold each other up, because that's what we do. We are the tribal nurturers. So what I want to say about this tough question is that sometimes we don't want to put out the fires that are in our lives. Even though it's burning, even though it's uncomfortable and we can feel the heat, we don't want to go out there and find the solution, because that could mean loss. Loss of our partnership, loss of our arrangement, and so we just gloss over it. We make the best out of it. But our spirits cannot tolerate that kind of isolation, being married but alone. It never lasts. It never does. Something has to combust because a fire is burning, smoke is building. Eventually, the windows are going to crack, the walls are going to shake. So we've got to go in and rescue our spirits and put those fires out that are saying, hey, I don't feel connected to you. I feel abandoned by you. I don't feel like we have a friendship. I don't feel like we have a communication line. What can we do? What are you willing to do? You're hiding. You're hiding in alcohol, you're hiding in drugs, or you're hiding in sports, or you're hiding in shopping, or you're hiding somewhere. But I know you're not with me. And I know I'm not with you. So let's make a plan. How are we going to connect? how are we going to get reconnected? How are we going to stay connected? It's always through spirit. I recommend prayer as your number one vessel to connect with your partner. Even if you could just hold hands once a day and say, God blessed me with you for good reason. And your partner say it back. God blessed me with you for good reason. Thank you. And the other one says thank you. Just that one 10-second prayer would change the dynamics of your relationship, because it'll get your subconscious mind looking for the good reasons that you're together. Instead of looking away, instead of glossing over, instead of being comfortably uncomfortable. So I ask you, conscious ladies, conscious women, to take the hand of your partner today and look at him in the eyes and say, God gave you to me for good reason. And just smile at him. Let him know you love him. Can you do that? I love you, and God bless.